Hi, I'd like to welcome everybody. My name is Isa Ohara, for those of you who don't know me. And I am so excited for you guys to be here tonight. I'm excited to be here tonight. And I'd like to just take care of a couple of housekeeping items like we always have to do. So if you have your cell phones, just make sure they are muted, put on Do Not Disturb, or just turn them off. It'll be about an hour, so I think the outside world can live without you for an hour. I know poor Randy's given up the political news tonight to be here with you guys. And I am just so honored to present to you guys the speaker that we have tonight. He has been in the network marketing profession for over 30 years, believe it or not. You think he started when he was about, 12, 13? He was a handful for his mother. And during that time, when he first started, he made lots and lots of mistakes. So he did lots of things wrong and lots of things right. And he figured some things out as he went. And he's been able to achieve a level of success not only for himself, but for the people who have chosen to work with him that is beyond what they could have even imagined. And his greatest gift, in my opinion, is he can see in others what they can't yet see in themselves. And I know this firsthand because he's also my friend, Mr. Randy Gage. Yay!
Thank you.
Thank you.
So tonight, no PowerPoint slides, no videos, no slideshows, no fireworks. I just wanted to have a fireside chat. If I'd have known it was 21 degrees here, I would have made you actually have a fireplace. I come from California and Florida. I'm just not used to this. But I thought this would be a really good chance to just talk about an extraordinary company that's it's really starting a movement, and we're gonna make history with this thing. And I guess it's gonna be like the political campaigns. We're gonna have the first caucus in Iowa and see who the front runners are and kind of set the agenda, and because this is the first meeting like this that I'm doing in the United States ever. Yeah, and I'm just excited about what could happen here in Iowa and spreading out around the Midwest. I'm from Madison, Wisconsin is my hometown originally. So I actually have some experience with cold in my early days, believe me. But so we've got this company FuXion, which is gonna really change the world. And it started with a guy, Alvaro Zuniga Benavides, who is not a scientist. He's an entrepreneur, but he's a genius. And he's been in business for a while, his family, and doing some things, and he's been in biotechnology for a long time, creating and developing biotechnology products. And when you sit down and talk with the man, you're just simply amazed. Because, like, for instance, this week, what is today? No, when I was in Mexico, okay, last week, Friday. On Friday, the U.S. Patent Office issued the U.S. patent to a process that Alvaro has a Peruvian patent on for 4 types of protein. The cow, bovine protein, egg, whey, and soy, in terms of actually getting better nutrients for your body to assimilate them. He got that patent here on Friday. And how it came about was he took a mathematical formula and he applied it to nutrition. And when you talk to him, this is what you experience with him. Because he's not a nutrition guy or whatever, that it wasn't what he'd done, but he was just an entrepreneur, and he's worked on some things, like they were trying to work on a special milk formula for the United Nations to give to indigenous kids and kids in underdeveloped countries who didn't get enough protein. So he's worked on processes like that. And so he was saying, well, there's this mathematical formula here, and I wonder what would happen if I applied that to biotechnology. And that's one of the things he just got a patent for last Friday. So he's created this extraordinary product line by taking nutrients, plants, fruits, vegetables, from a lot of them from the Amazon. It's a Peruvian company where it was founded. And so they're right there in the Amazon. The Amazon is like the lungs and the heart of our planet. And he had this vision of taking the goodness out of the Amazon and protecting it and getting all of the good things there that could benefit us. And he found this as another one. We've got 5 or 6 patents with the product development, and one of them is this process to dehydrate these nutrients, take the water out of them at very low temperatures so all the active ingredients are still there. So then you can offer them to people in these sachets, and depending on what the product is, they can mix them up in a thing like this for iced tea, soda, juice, sport drink, energy drink, or like this one is actually a hot tea and some hot coffees that when you add the water, rehydrate it, now you've got this amazing drink, functional beverage. And the nutrients are off the charts because there's no preservatives in these. There's no GMO, there's no sugar, there's nothing unhealthy. All of the ingredients are 100% natural. And we've got about a dozen products here in the States. They've got about 25 or 26 down in Peru, which was the first country to open, and now the U.S. was the 12th country. Dominican Republic is the 13th country. There'll be 3 or 4 more this year. So we're going to take this movement around this world, this movement of people being able to take their life back. And it starts with the health and the wellness. And these products are just extraordinary because they're real products for real people at real prices. 4 different categories. So there's a anti-aging category, there's a weight loss category, there is a athletic performance category, and then a nutraceutical category. So you can see there's quite a broad cross-section of product line that really. And here's the thing is with this is everybody in this room, and everybody that you know from everybody in this room, every single day is drinking coffee, teas, juices, sodas, smoothies, energy drinks, athletic drinks. So what we are doing with FuXion is we're saying, hey, we don't want to change your behavior. You don't have to change anything. Just whatever you're drinking, just drink healthier versions of it. And so there's no sugar in any of these, right? Sugar has got to be one of the biggest threats we face in the country right now. You're supposed to, I don't know what the actual numbers are, but it's like something like you should eat like half a pound a year, and the average diet is 300 pounds a year, or whatever it is. I mean, and don't quote me on those figures, I'm making them up. But I mean, it's that kind of a proportion. It's just crazy because there's sugar in everything now. You buy frozen peas, they have sugar in it. You buy ketchup, it has sugar in it. You get spaghetti sauce, it has sugar in it. And pretty much everything. And sugar is horrible for you because it's not meant to eat the pounds and pounds of sugar that we eat. If we had it in moderation, like we did for 100 years ago or 50 years ago, it wouldn't be a problem. So when I was working at Mr. C's Pancake and Steakhouse on Midvale Boulevard in Madison, Wisconsin, we had 3 kinds of soda, right? 3 sizes of soda. We had an 8-ounce soda, the small, a 10-ounce was the medium, and the large, which nobody ever ordered because you couldn't drink that much soda, was 12 ounces. You realize that? And we never sold large. And I can tell you, I went from there, Pizza Hut, Red Lobster. I mean, that's all I was a high school dropout, so I started as a minimum wage dishwasher, and then I worked as a waiter or cook, whatever. So that was my career in the restaurant business. And I mean, that was the 3 sizes of soda, and nobody ever ordered large. And look at it today. If you order a medium, and every now and then I'll go through a drive-through because I'm coming back from a softball game or whatever, and I'll order a iced tea or something. That was before FuXion. I don't have to do it anymore. But I don't, just by default, I say, make it a medium, whatever, and it'll be 24 ounces, 18 ounces, 20 ounces for a medium. And what are the vast majority of those drinks served? They're not regular Coke, they're not regular Pepsi, they're Diet Coke, they're Diet Pepsi. So not only is sugar horrible, but the sugar substitutes, those are the worst. And if you Google any one of them, I mean, just pick any one of those sugar substitutes and do a little homework on them. I mean, they're dreadful. They're really, really terrible for you. And there are people who drink 8 diet sodas a day. There are people who drink 10 diet sodas a day. I mean, and all you have to do is look around our country and look at the health we're in and know, wow, our diet is killing us. And it's a worldwide thing now. This is why this movement is really going to go around the world. I mean, it used to be Americans, we had all the fast food and the microwave food and everything, and so we got the unhealthiest first, and we had the biggest problems with obesity and diabetes and heart attacks and strokes and all of that. But the rest of the world has caught up with us. There's nowhere I can go to Jakarta, Indonesia, and there's Kentucky Fried Chicken at the airport. You know, I can go to Moscow and we got McDonald's and Burger King and every one of them. So it's a worldwide problem, and it's getting worse, and we have the answer for it. These products are really amazing. And the fact that we can tell people is just, hey, so if you like sodas, make your own soda. Just make a healthier version of it. If you like to drink coffee, we have some amazing coffees with antioxidants and healthy stuff in it. If you like tea, we have amazing iced tea, we have amazing hot tea. However you like to drink it, we've got a version of it. And they're all sweetened with stevia, which has got to be one of the most amazing miracles that Mother Nature has produced. It's just a natural root with this, it's antifungal, it's antibacterial, so it's actually sweet and it's good for you. And that's no small thing. Because so much, I'm sure there's a lot of people in this room like me. I mean, I shop at Whole Foods Market or Wild Oats or whatever. I buy organic fruits and vegetables and I try to eat healthy. But there's so many times where the healthy choice tastes so much worse. It's just not the same, and you just say, hey, I'm eating this because it's healthy, but that really does taste a lot better. That isn't the case with FuXion. These products really taste good. And we don't have any product in the whole line that anybody would say, well, I drink it because it's good for me, but I hate the taste. I mean, I get not everybody likes everything. I mean, there's people who don't like bananas and there's people who don't like strawberries, and I get that. So obviously maybe there's flavor that somebody doesn't like somewhere. But there's no bad tasting product here. All the line is really great tasting and great for you. And like this Veramis, this is an immune booster. So I have a compromised immune system. I drink 2 of these every day. And man, I can tell the difference just with my allergies. It's shocking to me how much, and Alvaro was the one who told me, because he heard I had allergies. And he said, hey, go to 2 a day. Are you drinking the Veramis? I said, yeah, I had 1 every day. He said, well, go to 2 a day. And so I did, and man, I could see the difference. The Thermo tea, which is kind of the thermogenic one, amazing. because I really can tell the difference. Like today, I mean, to get here tonight and leave this morning, I had a 6:15 a.m. flight. So I got up at 4:30 to get in the airport on time. So I didn't have time to do cardio this morning, all right? I was not going to get up at 3:30 to do cardio. I'm a pretty dedicated guy, but, I draw the line there. But I'm leaner now. My percentage of body fat is the best it's ever been. And even when I've done crazy traveling because of FuXion now, and we're launching, and I've been going down to South America. I just came back. I got back Sunday night from Mexico City. We did a big launch event down there. Even not working out, I've got better results because of the Termo tea and the no-carb tea. And I think the Flora Leave, which is kind of the 10 billion spores of probiotics, that get to your intestine, really makes a difference. So Alvaro had this vision. He was making biotechnology products for years. And only after, 5 years or something, he got invited to a network marketing meeting for some company. And he, somebody just said, hey, you're a sharp entrepreneur, come to this meeting. So he went to the meeting and he saw network marketing for the first time. And he said, wow, that's an amazing business model. We could use that for our biotechnology products. And that's how FuXion came about. And I tell you that story because I think it's important, because I've been in this profession like 30 years, Isa told you. And 99 times out of 100, when a network marketing company, you know how it gets started? There's two guys drinking in a bar somewhere, and one of them says, hey, we should start a network marketing company. And the other guy says, yeah, that's a great idea. What product should we use? What can we sell? That's not how FuXion came about. In other words, they were manufacturing biotechnology foods and drinks before they ever formed the company. That was their vision. I mean, when you meet Alvaro, when you meet the corporate team, you say, wow, these people are totally congruent with this. They have this vision. They really do want to give people their life back, give people their health back. When we were down, I took about 6 or 7 of my leaders, and we went down to Lima, Peru, to the corporate headquarters. And I just wanted them to, and myself too, to kind of meet Alvaro and see the whole picture and what it was all about. And it was amazing. He's got a Michelin star chef there who works in the commissary or the cafeteria there in the corporate headquarters. And he was just making all these smoothies and desserts and entrees all week we were there using the FuXion products, like Beauty In, which is a collagen product for the ladies that they love because it works so well but it's probably our best tasting product, right? It's so sweet for whatever reason because of whatever the ingredients are. And this chef made a frosting out of the Beauty In. And he made like a cinnamon raisin roll bun kind of thing, and he had the Beauty In so we were eating all this amazing gourmet food, and it was healthy for us. It was natural. For dinner, we went to this, what did they call it? A molecular restaurant. You ever heard of that? I never heard of that. It was a molecular restaurant, and it was a 12-course meal. It was like 6 hours to eat dinner at this place. It was like 2 in the morning when we got done. It was just crazy. But so every course, the maitre d' would come over and say, all right, now for the third course, we're going to serve this fish, which is a special fish because it's a vegetarian fish. So it's a very white meat. It's very clean fish. It does this, and he was like, and everything he would say, Alvaro was like, yes. And he'd say, and this, the purple corn, he'd say, yes, that comes from this mountain range and it comes at this elevation.
He knew about every ingredient, what it was, where it came from, because this really is his life. And he's totally devoted, totally dedicated to this. And so he's created this extraordinary line of products. He matched it up with network marketing, put in a foundation to support the work. They've bought about 80 acres in the Amazon, and they are building a place called FuXion World, which will be a retreat for leaders to come down with and just work and personal development and spiritual growth and spend some time and recharge. And you'd be able to take a boat down the Amazon and meet some of the indigenous people who work harvesting the products for FuXion. And just, I mean, the vision of the company is really extraordinary. They have a dream to be $1 billion company by the year 2020. And I've bought into that dream. And that's why I'm here with FuXion. I spent 10 years working with another company in our profession. And I said that was the last rodeo for me. I joined it 10 years ago. Derek Lord, who's in the room, was with me 10 years ago. We joined that at the same time. And I thought that would be the last thing I ever worked. And that was the plan. Loved the products, loved the people. And we had a great 10-year run. I made about $11 million in commissions with that, so it was pretty lucrative for me, right? It was beats working at Mr. C's Pancake House, I can tell you that much. But the company got sold to an investment firm out of Dallas, and I just wasn't congruent with where they want to go, what they want to do, and I just said, I could never get up on a platform like this again and recommend somebody would join that company. And so the day that happened is the day I said, I've got to resign. And I resigned. I walked away from $1 million plus a year income. I walked away from it and said, I just resign. And now, that's not an easy thing to do. That's not a simple decision to make. But for me, it was very simple to do, because if I cannot look myself in the mirror in the morning, then there's no reason to ever get out of bed ever again. I got to be able to look in the mirror and that guy and respect what I'm doing. And I can't be in a business that I wouldn't recommend to my mother or my sister or my best friend or whoever. So my first thought was, well, maybe I'm just going to walk into the sunset, because I don't need the money. I'm a debt-free guy. I pay cash for my homes and cash for my cars and all that. That's a big thing with me. That's a culture I set with my team. I want all my people to get debt-free as quick as they can. And I've been smart with my money, and I've made a lot of money. I mean, I come from a very poor family. My mother was a single woman who raised 3 kids by herself, knocking on doors selling Avon. And I mean, back in the day when they literally were knocking on doors, that's how she did it. So I was poor for most of my life, or let's say the first 30 years of it anyway. And I discovered this business and realized, hey, I can apply leverage here. This is the smart way to do it. You know, this is how I get out of the restaurant business, is this leverage thing. And so with this company, this last company, I thought that was it. But like I say, when they got bought, that was the end of the discussion for me. So my first inclination was, okay, I'll just walk in the sunset. I'm a writer. I've got 10 best-selling books. I've got other businesses. I do real estate. I mean, I have things that, I'm not at a loss of things to do to fill my day. But I had people on the team who said, if you walk into the sunset, we're going to hunt you down and kill you, We're not, maybe you have all the money you need, but we don't have all the money we need yet. We got to find something. So we went on this really accelerated investigative process of saying, okay, where could we go? If we're going to do this again, what is another place that we could land? And
FuXion wasn't at the top of my list because they were only in South America. And my team was around the world. I had 200,000 people. My biggest markets were Russia, Ukraine, Kazakhstan, Italy, Thailand, a lot of places that FuXion's not open in any of those countries, right? So I knew, right? So we were looking at the companies that were open in all of those countries. And there's some big players, old school companies who are in a lot of companies. And I looked at those and I just said, I can't get excited about those. I don't see big growth potential there. The product lines don't excite me. I wouldn't be excited to get up on a platform and tell people about it. I wouldn't get on a plane in March 2nd and go to 21-degree weather in Des Moines, Iowa for that. And then we got it down to 3 or 4 and started looking at it. And for me, I said, listen, it starts with the integrity of the people at the top. That's the first thing I'm going with. And if I don't see that integrity, that character, then it doesn't matter what the compensation plan is to me. It's off the table. It doesn't matter what the product line is. And I knew Alvaro because one of the things I do, I have a strategic advisory service just for CEOs. Right? It costs $20,000 a month to do it with me. So they're high-level people. They're either owners of companies or CEOs of companies. And Alvaro had been my client for the last 2 years. So I knew him, and I had met his brother about 6 months earlier when I went down and I spoke at the FuXion convention in Lima, Peru. We had 11,000 people there. And that's when I met his brother, Rafael. And that's when he told me about FuXion Land, and he was buying all this acreage and what his vision was and what they were going to do. And it turns out he's an investment banker, and he was the guy who raised the money for the company. He's just he was one of those whiz kids. He went to college at 16 years old. He took a 6-year accounting degree thing and did it in 4 years, graduated when he was 20. And then he ran an investment banking firm from the worldwide office in London. I mean, when FuXion, when Alvaro was starting FuXion and they needed money, he just raised it. I mean, so he's a guy who gets things done. And so I had met him and I saw what they were doing and I was really impressed because even last year when I met Rafael for the first time, he was telling me about their new factory. And he said, I went to Alvaro last year and I said, we need a new factory. And Alvaro said, what are you, crazy? We're operating like 40% of capacity. Why would we build another factory? And he said, because next year we're going to be operating at 80% capacity. And the year after that, we're going to be at 110% capacity. If we're at 110%, it means we're out of stock. We've got back orders. We can't keep up with the demand. So we need to make this investment now. And that's what they did. So they took a factory that had 180 people working at it. They expanded the capacity by 5 times. And it's so automated that it only takes 12 people to run this new factory, which produces 5 times the production of the old one that had 188 people. And all the 188 people who worked in the old factory, they all still work for FuXion because we're growing so fast, they just transferred those people to other jobs in the organization because that's the kind of company they are. So I saw stuff like that and I just said, Ann, Billy, David, my leaders that I was talking to, I was just saying, the character, that's with FuXion. I know the product line's good because I would use it, every time I'd meet with them and they'd give me samples. And so I was on like a regular shipment of stuff. So I knew they had good products. I didn't know how good. I wasn't really immersed in them the way I have become now. But I knew they were good, and I didn't know anything really about the comp plan. And it turns out the comp plan is amazing. And when we really got into it, and Ann Feinstein, who was one of my leaders, she called me up and she said, well, what about this comp plan? I don't understand it. I said, well, here's what I would tell you. If we were making the decision just on the compensation plan, we would have left and gone here 5 years ago.
because this plan is that much better. I mean, it's really an amazing compensation plan. So we looked at this and realized we're going to lose all of Europe, all of Russia, all of Australia and Asia and we're going to, somebody like Ann, she walked away from 90% of her team, her markets that she had. I walked away from about 80%, 90%. Billy walked away from a similar kind of number. But we just felt like this is the company we would want to be with 20 years from now. This is the one we would take to our mother or our sister or our best friend or someone and say, hey, this is the one you want to be with. And they were pre-launch here in the United States. They were looking for leaders here who wanted to open it up. These guys actually here were you were Omaha, I think you said? Yeah, so they're from Edison, who's one of the top leaders down in Peru, so they've been here. And there were some people here, basically a lot of customers. There wasn't really anything going on in the States, but all the registration was done, the products were registered, commissions are being paid, products are being shipped. Everything was in place, and they just need you. They need people who want to take the movement around the world and help people take their life back. And that's what I signed on for. And with the idea that by summer, we're going to open some of the EU markets. Later in the year, Canada. The idea is to go in the EU and then to start with Spain and Belgium and a couple of countries and use that as the entranceway into the EU. And then within a year to open up Australia and then use Australia as the conduit to go into Asia. And the plan is to take FuXion around the world to be a $1 billion company by 2020 or before. And that's what I signed on for. That's what I said, if I'm going to do it again, it's going to be with the character, with the product line that makes sense, with a compensation plan that's lucrative and fun and rewarding. And we've got all that with here. And what we're looking for now is leaders. We're looking for people who get it, who would want to launch this around America and then around the world. And I can't emphasize strong enough what an opportunity this can be for you if that sounds like the kind of business you think would be exciting for you. This is going to be, we're going to make history with this. I mean, lots of companies have launched the United States market, right? It's not breaking news because a company is going to launch the United States. That's happened a gazillion times. But here's what the breaking news is. Nobody's ever launched the United States that was already a $100 million plus company with all of the resources that brings with it, with their own manufacturing facilities, with the millions of dollars in research and development for the product line, with the experience of the leadership team open in 12 countries. They bring in all of that expertise. And then the other thing that's part of the equation is the field leadership team. Like I say, I made $11 million in the last company. I'm pretty good at this business, right? I was the first person inducted into the Network Marketing Hall of Fame 2 years ago. I was the first guy that was inducted. I know a little something about my book on the business is the seminal book of the subject. It's translated into 25 languages around the world. Sold millions of copies. I've got a leadership team of amazing people, really talented people who have built huge teams all over the world. They've got experience, they're proven, they've got character, they've got integrity, and they've come together one more time, one vision, one dream to take this around the world. So that's what, and right here in Des Moines, Issa Ohara is the one who's planting the flag and saying, yeah, we're going to do this here. And Derek and his gang are over in Chicago. These guys are in Omaha. Minnesota, okay. Where in Minnesota are you, by the way, again?
St. Paul.
St. Paul? Okay, good.
You could have written down with them.
Huh?
You could have written down with them.
Yeah, it's true. I came from Minneapolis. That's where I switched planes. We're going to set the records with this one. We're going to make history with this one because here's the thing I would tell you from a business standpoint. Nothing works if the products don't work. Nothing works if there's not demand for the products. So with all this experience for 30 years in this profession, let me tell you what I've been doing for 30 years that I think most everybody in network marketing has been doing. For 30 years, I've been trying to convince people to change their behaviors. This is not an easy thing to do, but I've been doing it for 30 years, because that's what you have to do in most opportunities. You're trying to convince people, change your behaviors, okay? Second thing is, for 30 years, I've been trying to educate people. This is what essential fatty oils are. This is good cholesterol. This is bad cholesterol. This is why this is good. This is why that is good. This is what glutathione is, and this is why it's important to you. And it's a very arduous process to try to educate people, because most people don't want to be educated, right? It's not like healthy nutrition. It's not like this information isn't out there. It's out there, but everybody's just programmed with so many commercials, so many advertising for Pizza Hut and Taco Bell and McDonald's and whatever, you know what I mean? So it's like trying to educate people. And the third thing I've been doing for 30 years is trying to make the case why people should pay more money for my products than they could get cheaper versions somewhere else. I worked with a company years back. It was a great company, just they didn't have enough money, but they had a really good a protein bar. You remember the book, The Zone? It was based on the Zone 40-30-30 thing, and so we had these bars. They were like $4.50, and then people were selling bars like that at Trader Joe's or whatever for $1. And you have to say, well, here's why you should do this. And I worked with this last thing that I worked with were gels, really an amazing product line, suspension gel. But like we had a vitamin mineral version that, was $3, $4 a gel pack. And somebody say, well, okay, that's vitamin and mineral. If I do one a day, $4 a day times 30 days is $120 a month. I can go into Shopko and buy a bottle of vitamins for $8. Now, why should I spend $120 instead of $8, right? And I could make the case on why they should pay more for those gels, because I really believe the assimilation, that I really felt the value was there. But it's arduous, and you're doing it all the time, and you're doing it over and over and over. The thing you're going to find with FuXion, you don't have to ask people to change their behaviors. You don't have to educate them. You don't have to beg them to pay extra money. These are priced $1 and change for a sachet. So we have Ganamas coffee, which would be as tasty as anything you would buy in Starbucks for $4, only it's healthier for $1 and change. Termo tea, no carb tea, the Verames immunity tea. $1 and change, depending on whichever one you're doing, versus $3 or $4 in a Starbucks thing. This, what I'm drinking here, Vita Energia Extra. This would be the equivalent of a sports drink. That again, you'd spend $2.50 in for a bottle of this that I'm getting for $1 and change. Go into Whole Foods and order a shot of wheatgrass or a shot of, look at what the price is. So again, it just goes back to this.
Every person you know is drinking coffees, teas, waters, juice, smoothies, energy drinks, sports drinks. Just tell them, hey, just drink healthier versions. And they're usually less money. So that's what drives the business. That's what makes FuXion work. That's why I say we're starting a movement. I just came from Mexico City, okay? Do you know what the economy is like in Mexico? It's tough. Let me tell you, it's tough. There's a reason somebody's going to win a lot of states tonight in the primary, and his whole campaign is, we're going to build a wall, and the wall is going to be 10 feet taller, right? Why has he got that wall? Because you got a whole bunch of people from really horrible economies who are saying, maybe we could support our family better over there. We have a better chance of success. So these are tough economies. And let me tell you, these products in Mexico, they work. The price is there. Colombia, it works. Nicaragua, it works. I mean, the countries we're opening, the cost of goods is there. And the reason for that is Rafael, the investment banker, who had the foresight to go ahead and build these factories, to do the millions of dollars in research and development, to have the economy of scale. So these are real products for real people at real prices. And people can afford them. And like I say, I'm working in these. I've got people in Chile, I've got people in Ecuador, I've got people in Colombia, I've got people in Peru, I've got people in Mexico. These are very difficult economies, and you know what? These products work in those economies. So they're going to work amazing in the United States. There's 15 ways to earn in the compensation plan. There's a car program. You can actually get your house paid for or an office paid for. There's profit sharing pools, great retail profit margin, 3 or 4 different ways you get paid by customers who come into the business as your preferred customers, and then these kind of overrides and matching bonuses on your team as you help them become successful. Like I said, I didn't bring PowerPoints, so I'm not going to go through the whole comp plan. I'll just tell you, there's 15 ways to earn. It's very lucrative. And we're just not doing the rah-rah thing with all the pictures of the Lamborghinis and waving the $100,000 a month checks, and that's not our thing. We're just telling people, hey, take your life back. Let's help you get debt-free. Let's get your car paid off, and so you don't have a note, and then let FuXion pay for your car, because they've got a car program where they'll give you $350 a month for your car. And there's a higher level where they'll give you $600 a month for your car. And let's get your mortgage paid off. Let's just, when you call me when your mortgage is done, because we want to have a mortgage burning party when you're ready. All right, we're going to get everybody in the team. We're going to gather around. We're going to take all the paperwork for your last payment. You send it in, and then we'll have a big bonfire in your yard, and we'll burn the mortgage. That's.
Make sure it's in city code.
So we give people the healthy, functional beverages, so they can lose weight, they can have energy, they can do the things they want to do, they can take their life back. And we can help you get the money thing out of the way. Pay off the car, pay off the credit cards, pay off the mortgage. Get the money thing out of the way. Take your life back there. And we're looking for people who want to take this movement around the world and help people take their lives back. So that's really all I want to tell you. We're going to go to a break in a minute or two. And then I'm happy to answer any questions you have. And if you're here as a guest, we'll give you copies of the compensation plan and how all that stuff works in a product catalog, so you can see all the products, all the ingredients, all that stuff. But I just wanted to talk the big picture stuff with you. And then after the break, I'm going to come back and do a night owl training. Just kind of leadership training for if you want to do the business. I want to give you some tips on how you could be the most successful with it and do it. So I guess I would summarize it to say the world needs a movement, and the movement needs you. So, thanks very much.